Our guest today says the biggest challenges facing micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises include access to funding and regulatory burdens. For Startup and Beyond, with us now for more, Abad Enriquez, country lead for Unleash Philippines, a global innovation lab for the Sustainable Development Goals. Good seeing you, Abad. Welcome to the
Happy
program.
to be here. Thank you, Kathy.
All right, so Unleash has finally arrived in the Philippines.
Yes.
And you've joined the Regional Innovation Lab, way back from Singapore, but right now it is in Manila and it happened last month. So how did that go?
It was a lot of fun. So we had 150 innovators from every region of the Philippines. And we had 30 to 40 teams. And from there, they will move on to the prototyping program happening in January of next year until March of 2026.
Talk to us about the ideation process, because that in itself is pretty challenging, because they've had to work on 3 themes, as I understand. It includes health, food, as well as sustainable cities.
That's correct. And what I love about Unleash is that we focus on the problem. We make sure that it's rooted in the community and the users. Meaning when I say users, the people who are affected by the problem, who will be using the solution once it comes to life. And what we see is that a lot of other programs maybe focus on the solution. Maybe not other programs. Like when we think of problem solving, we think of the solution first. We jump into thinking of the solution. But what makes Unleash different is that we really spend time understanding the problem, looking at the root causes of the problem, and making sure that we understand the people who would be addressed by the solution.
As its topic du jour, it's all over the papers, and we've been discussing this ever since the issues come to light. Have there been any ideations towards developing a solution for the flood control system?
You know, I was really expecting a lot, but we've seen one, and it's kind of related to that. It's called Project Safe. And it's kind of like Waze, but it tells you how deep the water is. So you know when you're driving, if you go to an app, they will tell you that there's flood water, but you don't know how deep. So you don't know if it's safe for you to pass by or not. And the idea of Project Safe is that they will tell you, using their own technology or someone else's technology that they will install in the Philippines through the LGU network, they will tell you how deep the flood water is and if it's safe for you to drive past.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pictures there, and they're pretty young bunch, isn't it? And it's across different generations, if I may.
That's correct.
Because it also includes those still in school and those that have just started working. So what sort of demographic are you're working with here for Unleash and trying to develop solutions for, say, the flood control systems?
So we're known for our diversity. So if you are an Unleashed talent, you could be an 18-year-old senior high school student from Cebu working with a professor from Cotabato and a working professional from Baguio, for example. So we have, in our other programs, 18 to 35, but what's unique about the Philippines is that we've accepted everyone, as long as you're at least 18 years old. So we've had maybe 2 or 3% of our talents who are aged 45 to 60. So
it's pretty interesting, because as you're also leading this effort, you yourself are a micro-entrepreneur, so you do understand the kinds of challenges that they face. And one of the problems really has been and is funding.
That's correct.
So where in the process is funding going to come in, and how are you going to develop that ecosystem to make it robust for these innovators to actually develop good businesses?
That's a great question. And for our program, in the past, a lot of people would ask us, so what happens next? After the lab, what do we do? And for this, we have a clear answer for them. We have a prototyping program where they could test their solution. And as long as they reach Tier L4, which is kind of a jargon, but it means Technology Readiness Level 4, or it is a solution that is tested in a lab environment. And once they have that, we offer pathways to global opportunities like Leaders Innovation Fellowship in the UK, where they get access to not just funding, but also more mentorship.
And that makes it a lot more interesting, because when you talk about scaling up, you're going to be working with different nationalities and different cultures. Unleash started in Denmark, as I understand, in 2017, and you've had that experience in Singapore.
Yes, I was a talent in Singapore.
A talent in Singapore. So what next for them? Because that prototyping does begin in the new year, in January. So they've got some time to prepare.
Yes, so for them, after the prototyping program, they can then apply to LIF, or Leaders Innovation Fellowship. For Unleash Philippines, our big dream is for it to be a recurring program in the Philippines. So in the past, we've visited different countries and we moved to a different place from one year to the next. Everyone's so happy with how the Philippines delivered when it comes to the quality of the talents and the partners and the solutions. So now we're looking at delivering the program again year after year with our partners like UST, for example, our hosts. They're very happy with the program. So they said they want to host Unleash again in the Philippines. And of course, our partners from the Royal Academy of Engineering in the UK are also quite happy with the results.
So there could be a second year.
That's the dream.
For
The dream is
Unleash.
for Unleash Philippines to be an annual thing.
So you have partnered with the academe, but what about the private sector? What's the way moving forward in helping these innovators scale up, maybe join a big company, or maybe go on their own as micro entrepreneurs like yourself?
Yes, so for us, the ecosystem is really important. And the reason why we invited 150 talents from all over the Philippines, which is quite impressive because we have partners from, say, the most far-flung areas in the Philippines. It's because of our strong network of partners in the Philippines, in both the innovation network, like Kubo, for example, or also in the private sector. Some of our former talents from other versions of, or other iterations of Unleash in the past, we're also very helpful in making sure that we deliver this program. For example, Escuelabs is one of the top data analytics school in the Philippines. Orlin Chu, the founder, was an Unleashed talent in Singapore. And because of that, he opened, or according to him, he was so inspired by the program that he ended up opening his own venture here in the Philippines with his partners. So we're hoping to see a lot of that.
And not to forget, there's that huge community to get support from. I mean, it started in Denmark, went around the world, India, Brazil, Singapore is just
Yes.
one. So that's the kind of support that you're providing in that ecosystem for our Filipino talents, as you call them, talents.
Yes, that's correct. So our community is our most valuable, I think, asset because you could be in other parts of the world. For example, you're in Bangkok and you need help in connecting with someone from the innovation ecosystem. You could go through our website or community platform, look for someone in Bangkok. If you tell them you are from Unleash, then guaranteed they would support you because referenceability is very important in business and in life. And if they know that you went through the same program, that you're part of the community, then already there's a connection there.
All right, well, let us know what happens to prototyping. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
Abad
having me.
Enriquez of Unleash Philippines.